Today I have another system from Crazy Russian's Crazy Lab. This is the Vesta 5350 OC, and this is going to be a pre-overclocked system. Now, we will be using the stock default Intel CPU cooler, which has about 3/4 of an inch of aluminum finnage going on to cool that. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to be using the Coolit Eco liquid cooling system. So this is a 120mm radiator with a copper heat exchanger as well as a built-in pump. That is what we will be using. We will be installing it in the Fractal Design Define R3. And this is the system configuration we will be using. We have this over here for validation purposes only. The system will not come on a high-speed PC tech station. So what do we have in terms of spec? Well, this is the 5350, so somewhere in between the 5300 and the 5400, it is also the OC. So we will be pre-overclocking the CPU, although we have not yet validated the overclock that we'll be using, so that's going to be to come in a video down the line. This will ship in its default configuration with 8 gigs of RAM, a GTX 560 Ti, a 2500K unlocked CPU. Remember, for overclocking on the 1155 platform, you do have to have a K-series unlocked CPU or you're not going to be going very far. And what we also have here is, down at the bottom, we have an SSD. So that's a 40 gig SSD. Now, I've always been of the mind that 40 gigs on an SSD is not nearly enough for a boot partition. But what we're actually using, and this is the Gigabyte Z68X UD3H B3 right here, is a Z68 board. So we're taking that 40 gig SSD and we're using it as a cache using Intel SRT technology, which is featured on this board, for the Western Digital Caviar... Oh, well, hold on. Sorry guys, Crazy Russian was going like this to me and I thought he meant like, you know, 1 moment please, or you're number 1, or something along those lines, but no, that's not what he meant at all. What he actually meant was this is a WD Caviar Blue 1 terabyte that we're using for the boot drive. So we're using Smart Response technology to accelerate our boot drive without having to buy a larger capacity, more expensive SSD to boot off that exclusively. Since we're down here actually, we also have a Seasonic M12-2 620 watt power supply. That is with 80 plus bronze efficiency. And let's move up to the motherboard itself. So this is the Z68X UD3H B3, and if that's a tongue twister, then, well, you need to work on, you know, not being puzzled by easy tongue twisters, I guess. But what it is it's a Z68 board. So that's what gives us support for Intel Smart Response technology. What we also have support for, and you're going to have to come around and look at the back of the board for this, is onboard video with HDMI, DisplayPort, VGA, and DVI, as well as right there, you see that little sticker? That says Lucid Virtue. So we can use Intel Quickpath technology. I think that's what it's called, right? Quickpath? I don't know what it's called, but it's the one that makes your video transcoding go really, really fast. Maybe it says on here. Virtualization for the onboard GPU. Yes, okay. Yeah, see, they don't say either. Either way, it doesn't really matter. What you get is better efficiency at idle because you're able to use the onboard GPU whenever you're idling or doing anything 2D. You can use the onboard GPU. Yeah, so there's the idle power consumption of the system, 56 watts. I know, right? It's like almost nothing considering this is a full-blown gaming machine. You can use the onboard GPU for video transcoding, which it just kicks butt at. It's way faster than using the CPU. It's way faster than even using a high-end dedicated GPU. And then when you're gaming, you can actually use the power of your dedicated GPU. You can still output... Actually, I think the optimized mode is to output through the dedicated GPU and then virtualize this one. Either way, you can use this for gaming, this for what it's good at, and you win. You get better power consumption, great gaming performance, and great video transcoding performance. Now, with the Z68 chipset, yeah, those are the main features you get. We also have support on this particular board, which is an awesome value. That's why we went with this one, for NVIDIA SLI technology as well as AMD Crossfire X. So we can run up to 2 cards in SLI or Crossfire. You can configure your system either way you want. And that'll be running in 8x mode, which, as we've tested in the past on my show, does not give you any sort of a performance disadvantage versus running in 16x and 16x mode. The board also has dual BIOS, which is nice. That's a great overclocking friendly feature because it means that even if you screw something up when you're overclocking it on your own, remember your NCIX PC warranty is not invalidated by overclocking. So, I mean, this is going to come pre-overclocked. You can see if you can push it a little bit further if you want. That's also good. You can recover to the main BIOS if you screw something up, which is great. You've also got a solid power delivery system, especially for our board in this kind of a price bracket. That's a 6+1 phase power design with lower RDS MOSFETs and ferrite core chokes, also solid capacitors. And I think that pretty much covers everything to say about this little guy. Oh, actually one more thing, check this out. So the front USB right here. So your two front USB ports will be hooked up to the one with the red background. And what that means is that it can deliver up to 40% more amperage on your front USB. That means you can actually charge your iPad or even a tablet if you have the utility installed on your PC, and you can charge it right off a USB port without using a power adapter from the wall. So thank you for checking out my little introductory video of the Vesta 5350 OC, and hopefully you guys will stick around and check out the video once we've got the overclock validated, once we've got it all built up, and once we have this thing priced out, because I don't even have a price yet. We're just making sure that it's going to be awesome first.